I'd like to start off by giving our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutation to you brothers around the four corners of the world, pushing this truth and honesty in all sincerity. And this brother Azar from the GMS St. Louis, Lions of St. Louis, and I'm just going to continue to go over a couple laws given to Moses and to give to the Israelites in the book of Exodus, starting chapter 22, verse 2, and it reads, "If a thief be found breaking up," and that goes into like committing a burglary. If a thief be found breaking up and be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him. If the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him, for he should make full restitution. If he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. Like if he has nothing, then he will be sold, like, or put into servitude to pay off his debt. You know, but in this society, you go to jail for years and years, and you just generate money for the industrial prison system. And skip down to verse 7. If a man shall deliver unto his neighbor money or stuff to keep, and it be stolen out of the man's house, if the thief be found, let him pay double. If the thief be not found, then the master of the house shall be brought unto the judges to see whether he have put his hand unto his neighbor's goods. So it will be a orderly and decent way how to go about finding out the truth. The Lord gave us very good laws and statutes on how to be and how to deal with certain situations. And when you go away from that, that's when you run into bullshit, really. That's where you have confusion, So it's a perfectly good reason why the Most High gave us laws, man. I'm going to skip down to verse 16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, like a woman that's not engaged to another man, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. So like he should wed her to be his wife. So it's not just you can just pop any woman you want and get up and leave. And no, like if you pop a woman and take her virginity, that's your woman until death. Or if she commit an offense, or if you commit an offense of adultery, then you be put to death. But if you pop a woman and take her virginity, then that's your woman. That's your possession. You have to take care of her. And there are laws in the Bible that state, as I mentioned in Exodus 20 or the 21st chapter, let me grab 17. If her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. And that's just like the cost, like it's a certain amount that you would give a woman's father in order to take over the possession of her, because a woman first belongs to her father. When she's popped by a man, she belongs to that man. Scripture tell you that a woman is a prized possession to be protected and guided. Verse 18, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. So you're supposed to put a witch to death. And in this society, Salakia, in this society, witches run rampant. It's no secret now that you have to be a full-blown witch to produce music in the music industry out here. You have witches teaching our children. You have witches that's pushing these pharmaceuticals, because that's sorcery as well. That's witchcraft. You have witches out here putting this makeup on. That's witchcraft as well. Because you tricking somebody into believing that's how you really look, but your ass ugly for real. So you're bewitching someone. That's sorcery in itself. So this is a witch society. You have movies, Harry Potter out here. You have women putting hexes and spells on people, on men to stay with them, and you got women out here that's giving other women advice on Facebook and different social media platforms on how to cast spells on men. And the Lord gonna put your ass to death, man. Whosoever lieth with a beast shall surely be put to death. And you have a lot of, especially these Edomite, these she devils, man. They out here sleeping with these horses and sleeping with all kind of dogs and you got these Edomite men that be doing all kind of stuff to these animals, man. You know, and a little later on, I'm gonna show you why we ain't supposed to live amongst these heathens anyway. It's a shame to live amongst heathens and you a Hebrew Israelite. That's a shame that the Most High put you in that situation. You shouldn't be trying to be like them. But I'll get to that later. This is Exodus chapter 23. We'll start at verse 2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. You shouldn't be following the crowd, man. A multitude, that's a lot of people. Usually whatever the majority is doing is wicked. Only a few are going to choose to do the right thing, man. You know, because everybody is all about being cool and socially accepted. Fuck that. The word mass, you know, it goes back to massacre. So when you have a mass amount of people doing something, then usually it's something wicked. And they're going to be massacred, put to death for that. And the scriptures say, broad is the way that leadeth to death, but narrow is the path to righteousness. Roughly paraphrasing. Neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. So you're not supposed to be trying to if you know somebody did wrong, you're not supposed to be trying to persuade or talk in a way that's going to lessen the judgment for that person. You know, you're not supposed to be a respecter of persons. Skip down to verse 10. And 6 years thou shalt sow thy land, and shalt gather in the fruits thereof. But the 7th year thou shalt let it rest and lie still, that the poor of thy people may eat, and what they leave the beasts of the field shall eat. In like manner thou shalt deal with thy vineyard and with thy olive yard. So you're not supposed to be planting just every year, man. The seventh year, you supposed to let the land rest, man. You know, and you know, back in the ancient times, they, you know, the poor were counted for. The poor were counted for, man. You didn't look down on the poor and be like, huh, no, you got to get it how you live. Because that you know, could force somebody to commit a sin. You know, you know, if you had a grapevine vineyard, you wouldn't trip off of, you know, a couple bundles of grapes being left for the poor. You know, animals eating a little bit of them. You know, because everything works with each other, man. In this thing called life, even good and bad, man. Verse 12. 6 days thou shalt do thy work, and on the seventh day thou shalt rest, that thine ox and thine ass may rest, and the son of thy handmaid and the stranger may be refreshed. So it was, man, it was all about doing things in decency and order, man. This is what the Most High set up, and this how the way that it works, man. Anything outside of this is gonna fail. Uh, um, just last year, it was going back to the 10th chapter of the 23rd verse. Last year was a year that hardly nothing grew, no crops. You know, I grow some of my own. You know, well, my family does, but they don't. You know, partake and listen and take heed that you're supposed to let the land rest, man, so it can rejuvenate itself. So we didn't have nothing. You know, couple okra, you know, some rhubarb, Swiss chard or something. But jumping back to verse 12. 6 days thou shalt do thy work, and on the seventh day thou shalt rest, that thine ox and thine ass may rest, and the son of thy handmaid and the stranger may be refreshed. So everybody was accounted for, man. Everybody was showed some form of rest, or some form of care. You know, like you know, you just had things done in decency and in order, man, and that is totally taken out of this place. The Lord's words, the Most High's words, is all about decency and order, man. And in this place and other countries around the world, like, chaos is what runs the society. Ordo ab chaos, order out of chaos. You know, and that's America's, one of America's hashtags, I guess you would say. I'm skip to verse 32. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor with their gods. So you not Jesus, this white Jesus that everybody worship on Sunday and all that. That is one of the heathens' gods. That is the god of the Edomites. That man is Cesare Borgia. He lived in the during the Renaissance. His father was Pope Alexander VI. They were a crime family. They were a crime family. His father told his son, Cesare, that if you commit this one more act for me, I will make you God of the new land, of the new world. And at the time, America was the new world that wasn't inhabited by a lot of people. The tribe of Gad was here already. But that's what happened. That is a false god, man. And they pushed that on our people during slavery and everywhere else around the world during the Crusades. And people went along with it. To now, if you bring out the truth on what the Lord looked like, mentioned in Revelation, they're gonna look at you like you crazy. You know, everybody think that that the Lord name is Jesus and that He's white with blonde hair and blue eyes. When the Scripture says otherwise, that's how indoctrinated Americans are. They only believe what's pushed on them. They don't think for themselves. They don't reason. They don't use logic. So they make the perfect cattle. And going into what I mentioned earlier, um, how you're not supposed to be excited about living amongst heathens. They are beneath you if you're a Hebrew Israelite. Period. Verse 33. They shall not dwell in thy land, lest they make thee sin against me. And this is the Lord talking. This is Yahweh talking. For if thou serve their gods, it will surely be a snare unto thee. Jesus is a snare unto us, man. That is an Edomite God, man. Everybody always talking about, oh, he don't have a color, he a spirit. Come on, man, that's not what the scriptures say. Or they talk, oh, God love everybody. So why is he saying you shouldn't dwell in a land with heathens, man? Unless they're gonna make you sin against me. For if thou serve their gods, it will surely be a snare unto thee. Jesus is a snare unto our people, man. Jesus Christo, that's a snare unto our people, man. Y'all need to wake the fuck up, man. And right, but only the elect is gonna hear and take heed to it. So I want to say, give salutations to the Akim around the four corners and the hopeful elect, you Akwath that's listening and you know operating how a Hebrew Israelite woman is supposed to, and give double honors again to the apostles and elders of GMS. And I want to say a Baba Ball. Hopefully this lesson was edifying.